Hi, I'm Miss Chris, and today I will be showing you how to make a mini travel jewelry box to keep all of your jewelry safe and so you don't lose it while you're traveling. The first thing that you should do when making your upcycled jewelry tin is, if you are going to decorate it, rather than leave it as a plain container where you can see what it was originally upcycled from, is to paint it. So that way you can decorate it however you want. So I'm just going to start with some acrylic paint and paint over the current design. And it is totally up to you how you want to paint and decorate this. It's probably going to take a couple coats, as you can see. So that's why we're starting there, so we can keep going back and adding more layers. So we have full coverage and you can decorate it and have it however you want. Or you can just leave it plain and skip this step entirely. And we're going to set this aside to dry. It's still going to say ALTOIDS because it isn't raised. However, if you're using a flat tin, then it will be less obvious what it used to be. Next, we're going to start making the inside of our container with the cushions that will hold your jewelry, so they're not just rattling around loose. And you're going to measure 3.5 inches so that it will fit inside the container. And you're going to mark that along the felt. And cut a 3.5 inch strip. You have your 3.5 inch strip. It's currently 9.25 inches long, so you're going to cut it in half, and you can either measure it exactly, or since you're just cutting it in half, fold it in half and then cut where you folded. And now it is 3.5 by 4 3/4. You're going to need one more of the size. Once you have your 3.5 by 4.5 or 5 inch pieces of felt cut out, you are ready to start rolling them. So you're going to take your hot glue gun, you're going to put a line of hot glue along the shorter edge and just fold it over. And then you're going to give it a couple rolls. Make another line of hot glue and roll it over again. And that's to hold it together so it doesn't spring apart. And you're going to do that till you get to the end. Put a line of hot glue across the end. And hold it for a few seconds so it doesn't just spring back apart. And you're going to repeat that with the other 2 pieces. You're going to take your 3 rolled pieces of felt and you're going to glue them seam side down into your ALTOIDS container. So it's just a little squiggle of hot glue across where the seam is, and you want that on the bottom, otherwise it's going to be really noticeable. Just going to slide it in, press it down, and repeat. Next, you're going to take a piece of scrap fabric. I'm using scrap velvet left over from a different project. You can use whatever you want, but velvet is normally what is inside jewelry boxes, so if you can find an old scrap, go for that. If not, use whatever you would like. And you're going to measure a 5 by 5 square. You're going to have leftovers, but you're going to trim it as you're working. So we're going to start with that. So you're going to take your velvet square that you just cut. I trimmed it off a little, so it's now more of a 4 by 5, because you really need the extra so that way you can get it tucked in between each roll of felt, so you have a place to tuck your jewelry into. So we're going to tuck this in, start on the one end, and getting around on the edges as well. And I'm using my library card to just sneak all that in there. can see I have a lot extra here, so we're just going to trim this off. The corners are a little tricky because they're rounded, so you can either get a pencil. Once you've made the inside, you're going to do a velvet lining for the top, so that way your jewelry does not end up scratching against the metal surface. So you're going to make a 3.5 by 2 1/4 velvet square. Since the inside is going to be visible, you do want to make sure that the edges are nice and straight. So you're going to be careful while you're measuring. 3.5 by 2.5. Make a little mark there. And actually it's 2 1/4. Sorry. 2 1/4. Straight line. Then 3.5. And you're going to cut this out neatly. And I'm going to get rid of that little bump right there when I'm cutting. Once you have your square cut out, you are going to hot glue it into the top of the ALTOIDS container. Try to make sure you actually get it in the center. Once your jewelry box is finished, you've added your inner lining and decorated it how you would like. You are all set to use it, and you can put any of your small jewelry items on the inside. So rings and earrings, and you are all set to travel with it.
Support public libraries. Like, share, and subscribe for more great videos.